advice you have for independent artists and musicians and makers in terms of getting their work out in front of as many people as possible?
I'm not sure who I learned this from. I know that I definitely learned it from Sunny Lenarduzzi and probably some of the other YouTubers. It's all about relationships. I think with the internet and these platforms, YouTube and LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, it's about relationships and reciprocity. I take time to listen or watch the entire thing, and then I comment thoughtfully and consistently. I'll comment on the content, and then there's a conversation, and if there's something in the conversation that stands out, I'll like that, or maybe I'll respond to that. So I actually take the time to engage with other people's content. And you know what? People notice and they appreciate it. They really do. I've created a base of supporters now that appreciate what I do because I take time with their content. I take time with my content, so it's thoughtful, and my intention is to provide value. Even if someone doesn't like, someone will say, well, that wasn't my cup of tea, but I can see, I appreciate this or that. Creating a foundation and a conversation with oneself about intention, what am I doing and why, and really having that conversation thoughtfully and frequently, because there's all these different distractions and pullings, and there are days when I'm like, oh, I only got 40 likes or whatever, so you have to
validation.
Yeah, you have to keep validating yourself and reconnecting with why you're doing this.
And I know everybody wants to be somebody, but you and I can just be friends to the end.
The second is be a good citizen and engage with other people's comment, add thoughtful things. I've shared people's things, I share people's stuff, not all the time, but when I can, I do. Someone who's really been supporting me and they put out something I like, if it's consistent with what's going on my page or whatever, I'll share it there, so, because that's the other thing. It took me a while to learn, like my Facebook page or like my profile page or whatever, I put other people's content there. Some spaces I don't, like my YouTube channel is just my content, but I've branched out in terms of what my content is. I've started to interview other people. I've started to do videos about how I make how I make stuff and whatnot. So it does still involve me in one way or another, but it's branching out. In interviewing other people, it's a great way to pull other people into what you're doing. This is what we're doing here right now. So understanding how important relationships are and developing good relationship skills, good follow-up, being willing to offer something and not necessarily get something back for it. It'll come back later in some kind of way. All of that stuff, that in the sense of relationships develop over time. People that know, like, and trust you, that happens over time. So it's not going to be 3 months or 6 months. After a year, there are people who've been watching what I've been doing for a year, for 6 months, and we're in a sustained relationship. I'm watching what they've been doing for a year or 6 months, and we support each other. That's a relationship.
And community. That's how communities are created.
That's what
that
I do.
Camaraderie and supporting each other. 6 months, a year, 5 years later, who are the people that are going to be there for you when the chips are down or when you need inspiration for when you need a change? That's who's going to be inspiring you and helping you to figure out where you should be making that change, who you're spending your time with, and who's supporting you.
Yeah.
These interviews that I do, I started doing them because I went to a conference and I met so many amazing people, and I wanted to share these amazing people with other people. And I met you and YouTube. I love your videos, and I wanted to share these videos with other people because there have been so many times where I've been like stressed out, or I'm just like, I can't sleep, and a million thoughts running through my head, and I'll just watch one of your videos. And if I can get at least one other person to feel that calm and that sense of, this is totally worth it. I don't care if no one watches it but that one person.
Yeah,
if we can get that one person what they need, we both made it, right?
That's really it. I think that really goes to the essence of it, which is you really have to define success for yourself. And it's tremendously helpful if you appreciate what you just said, that you are transmitting information and packaging it and sharing it with the intention of providing something of value that another person will enjoy and they'll benefit from it. That's the whole thing. You need to be good with that. If that happens, you've achieved your purpose. Anything after that is like bonus.
Like a cherry on top. Yep.
Cherry on top. That's right. So I lose sight of that. And then I have ways to come back around to that, because that really needs to be the beginning, middle, and end. Because everything else that, and I work really hard. I spend a lot of time. I teach part-time, and that frees up the rest of my day and week to create original content and share it. So this is what I'm doing with my time, and it matters a lot to me. But I keep bringing it back to it's just about being of service and bringing something of value to people, and having that be enough. That's got to be enough.
We all have to eat. We all have to eat, but
yes, yeah, absolutely. That actually would be kind of an interesting segue. So to bring some of this back to Chant Magic and how it evolved. Initially, it was harmonic vocal music. Then I added in lyrics. Then I got a smartphone and I started to shoot my own video. So that was nice. I could show people the area that I was in, and also my feelings and joy in nature. But then the next thing has been, I've come to this realization that I do want an audience, that I want a group of people that appreciate what I do and consistently show up, and just that I can perform for. And so there is that sense. And so I'm starting to build that. And what I decided to do, it's going to be a monthly arts journal. And it's so you could think of it as a newsletter. It shows what I've been up to during the month, and links out to my videos, other people's videos, everything that's been involved in my creative process. Because what I want to do is talk about my process, but get off the platform. I'm using Medium, and I'm creating a long post that is a month in review, and links to all the different things that I've seen and done in a relevant and thoughtful way. So it's curated. It's not just nuts. This is something that I'm offering to people that are interested in what I'm doing. So I have people stop on my site, they leave their name and their email, and then I put them on this list, and every month I send them this. And so this is a new effort to go deeper with people who have expressed interest in what I'm doing, and just provide more content and more meaning and value in a quieter space. It's about me getting honest and saying, I want to cultivate a special relationship with a group of people who are dedicated,
You are who you say you are. How you move is what you do.
So that's that's kind of a piece, and that's me acknowledging, hey, there is something I want here. The platforms, you develop your relationships, and people drop in, watch, leave comments. It feels great. But it was important for me to say, I'm doing this from my heart. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm never going to stop doing it. And I want something back. And I'm going to create a quieter space where I can get people's attention in a more exclusive way, and ask them to validate and support what I'm doing.
And how can people reach out to you and get access to this?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Through my website, chantmagic.com is really the simplest way. There's a form right on the front page, and a video explaining the newsletter project, and saying, if you're interested, leave your name and email.
What you mean, what you say is what you do, what you do.
I have a lot of the comments that came through YouTube and Facebook. People wanted to know more. They wanted to go behind the scenes.
Yeah.
People really want that with artists and makers. And so I said, okay, let me create some exclusive content that shows you how I made this, or more about this process, where this came from. And that's really what it's about. So yeah, I would say chantmagic.com.